everybody, Danny Mott here. This week we're going to talk about how to eliminate your slice for good. It's a very big subject, isn't it? You know, so many people have been slicing the golf ball for years and for whatever reason have been unable to get rid of it. This is why this week what I've done, I've made it a two-part series. I'm going to give you 2 or 3 things today which will really start to turn that slice into almost a draw. But because it's a big series, what I'm going to do is I'm also going to give you another video which you can access in the link in the description below, which will send you over to my website where I'll give you part 2. But let's get cracking. This week I had a client, Michael, who came to me with a really big slice, and he'd been trying to draw the ball or get the ball turning right to left for years and was unable to do it. So what I want to talk to you about is exactly how we got him to turn that slice into a draw just in one session. And we did a couple of things which I think you'll find really beneficial. So let's have a look. So if you've been trying to get rid of your slice, the chances are you kind of understand that a slice is a shot that starts off to the left for right-handers and slices back over to the right-hand side. And what's happening to create that slice? Well, the club, as you know, is coming outside the line. We call it outside the line here. It's swinging from the right to the left, so it's swinging this way, and the face is actually open to that swing pass which promotes the spin, which curves it out to the right hand side. Now, a lot of people know this, but they're still unable to kind of get rid of it. So there's a path issue, as we know, and there's a face issue. So if you look at this club head here, what's tending to happen is that face is like wide open through the hitting area. So what we've got to do is we've got to deal with the face and we've got to deal with the path. So what we're going to do today is deal with those 2 things, and 2 things you can simply work on to try and eliminate that slice really quickly. So the first thing I want you to do is, we find that a lot of people who slice, they get to the top of the backswing here, there's no activity at all in the lower body. It tends to be very upper body dominated. So we get to the top here and the upper body simply swings straight over the top of the ball. From this angle, it looks like this. Lower body not really doing anything, and upper body just simply swings straight across the top of the ball. So the first thing we're going to do today is simply look at helping you to feel what the lower body should be doing to get it in sequence. So right now, if you're coming over the top here with the upper body, is out of sequence. That's moving and that's not, as opposed to this should be moving and this shouldn't. So what this looks like from here is this. It's better here to have this shape through impact with your driver, okay, than this shape. So the first thing I want you to do is just do this. Just start to move your hips forward and get into what we call right lateral bend here, where you're hinged into this position here. Now that there is a position that no real slicer gets in, all right? The right shoulder's dipped in, just get a sense of that. And then make some swings like this, just holding that position. It will feel probably pretty strange, but if you were to hit some golf balls just like that, you would start to probably hit a few to the right maybe. Why is that a good thing? Because it's a change in the path. Remember, if you're a slicer, you're coming out to in. So we want to start to change that path. We want to start to move the path much more in line here, the path of the club this way as opposed to over. So the first thing to do is feel that motion there. Hips forward, get the body back, and just make some swings like this, backwards and forwards. I'm just holding that position. And then what we'll do, let's hit a shot. And all I'm going to do here is just bunt this across for a second here, and I'm just going to make a swing. This is not a proper swing. I'm not going to try and do the big long follow through. This is just, you start very small with this and build it up. We're just going to bunt the hip to the left. I'm going to hold that position, backwards and forwards. And that ball there sets off to the right hand side. Very different. Now, when you're doing this, don't be worried about strike. I caught that a little bit thin on the way up, which is a brilliant thing because most slicers catch their shots on the way down, and they often combine a slice sometimes with the sky. So you might even see the ball skying up in the air, and that's because you're coming down too steep on it. So this is all about getting you to feel this motion here, where your hips are in a very different position to where they would normally be there. Okay, now let's work on number 2. All right, number 2, the second thing I want you to do here is to start to look at the face. We've talked about the path, but let's look at the face. I think this is probably one of the most important bits, and this is one of my favorites. So what we want to do is we want to get that face closing down. So think about it. If you're slicing it, the face is wide open, right? So, and most people who slice it have never really seen much of that right to left shape in their lives. So we want to get that face closing down as much as possible. Now, a lot of times you'll see people trying to close their face down, but what they're really doing is closing their body down, which creates more of a slice because they come more over the top. So they're trying to stop it from going over there, so they do more of this. What we're going to do instead is this. We're going to look at getting the knuckles basically snapping down or turning over very quickly through impact, and we're going to get that feeling. It's like a snap of the wrist as opposed to just a flick of the hands. We don't want to see lots of this, right? It needs to be a strong flick or a snap here of the knuckles going down to the ground. Because watch this, if I whip those knuckles down to the ground, bang, look what happens now to the face. Immediately goes, but I've still kept the strength look in the club line of my arm. I haven't gone like this, which is now a very weak position, and you won't hit it very far. So we're going to get those knuckles snapping to the ground. So from here, we're going to swing it back and snap the knuckles to the ground. And notice I'm just working on very small swings. We don't want to go into big full swings initially. Too difficult to learn it that way. Take your time. Snap those knuckles to the ground. Now, when we did this with Michael, almost instantly he got the ball moving right to left, and it is so satisfying when you start seeing that ball move right to left. Now, if you're a slicer as well, you've probably been going out to in, as we said, from right to left, so you might find that when you do start drawing this, it starts off left and goes left. That's fine. I'm going to talk to you about how we get rid of that in the second part of this series. But for now, if you can start to work on your path and then snapping those knuckles forward, you'll start to see a big difference. So let's have a look at this. So what we're going to do here, we're going to make a swing, and I'm going to snap those knuckles down to the ground. Watch this. Nice and small, back, snap those knuckles. Look at that bend. All because I'm closing the face by snapping the knuckles down to the ground. So there's 2 things there that we've done there today. What we've done is said, look, if you're a slicer, you generally come out to in with an open face, right? So the path of the club is swinging this way from right to left, and the face is open to that path. So we need to start to look at improving those 2 factors. How have we started to improve the path? Well, we said the path of the golf club is often goes out to in because we use only the upper part of the body. If we can get the lower part working a bit better, then the path's going to change more from this position to there. Very different, right? So we started off by going, look, keep it simple. Just move your hips forward, hold them there, hit some shots, just holding that position there, behind that golf ball, hitting some small little shots, just getting a feel for that. That's the first thing. And then we said, look, let's now work on the path of the face of the club. We've got to get it closing down. How do we do that? Really simple. We don't want to kind of turn our hands over or move our shoulders over, because that's just going to cause a very weak shot. We're going to get the knuckles, and we're going to snap those knuckles down towards the ground. Start very slowly, very easily to start off with, so you can really feel this. And that is it. That's the first stage of this 2-part series on how to get rid of your slice. Start with those first, and then when you're ready, click on the link below and move into part 2. All right? So if you've got any questions with this at all, as normal, look, head over to my Twitter channel, my Instagram channel. You can ask some questions there. Alternatively, if you've got a YouTube account, pop your comments in the comment box below, and I'll do my best to answer them over the coming weeks. And if you think anybody else may benefit from improving their slice, I'm sure you know someone, please share it. It really, really helps. And of course, if you like this content and you want to receive it in your inbox every week, don't forget to press the subscribe button and the bell. And until next week, have a great golfing week.